Hey, this is Mr. Morrison here today to talk to you about fractions, decimals, and percents. And I'm going to give you the outline of the notes, which I gave the blank for. So if you could please fill this in as you go along. Hopefully you remember first percents we're going to talk about. Percent is, and the percent is a number compared to 100. It's a ratio of a number to 100. So for example, 40% is a ratio of 40 to 100. So you can write that as 40 over 100. Writing percents as fractions, write the percent as a fraction with a denominator of 100. So if it was 35%, that would automatically just go to 35 over 100. And then, of course, you want to take this and simplify it. So divide the top and bottom by 5 to end up with an answer of 7 over 20. You can also take percents and write them as fractions in simplest form. So 70, that will go from 70 over 100 to 7/10. 36% will go from 36% means over 100, so it'll be 36 over 100. Simplify it, divide the top and bottom by 4 and get 9/25. And 40%, that's an easier one hopefully, would be 40 over 100, divide the top and bottom by 20 to get 2/5. Writing percents as decimals. So write the percent as a fraction with a denominator of 100. So 43% would be 43 over 100. And put it in the hundreds place. So 43 over 100 would just be 0.43. So it's pretty easy to write it as a decimal. Another way to think about this is just get rid of the percent sign and move the decimal 2 places to the left. It's kind of the same thing as this, it's just without the fraction there. So the 3 is, the decimal is after the 3, so just take it and move it once, twice. Oh, that was magic. And it'd be 0.43 again, just like it was before. So 75%, we would just take it and move it over twice to give us 0.75. 4% is a little bit trickier because we have to move it over twice, so it won't be 0.4, it'd be 0.04. It'd be moved over twice. And 40% would just be moved over once and become 0.4. Notice the difference between 4% and 40%. This, it got moved 1, 2, and this, it just got moved 1, 2, but it lands in a different spot. They're two completely different answers. Next, writing decimals as percents. Write the decimal as a fraction. This gets a little bit trickier. So 0.2 would become 2 over 10, and then remember a percent was anything over 100, so we have to take that and make it an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100, so 2/10 will go to 20 over 100. So we have to write the fraction as a percent. It would just be 20 over 100 would be equal to 20%. And this was easy to do because 10 times 10 is 100, so we had times the top by 10. 20 times 10 would be 100. This was kind of easier because of how it was. Okay, another way to do this is move the decimal 2 places to the right and add the percent sign. So 0.2, we would just go 1, 2, and it would end up becoming 20%. So we get the same answer we did there, just a slightly different way. So 0.135%, move it over twice to get 13.5%. 0.3, again, we got to move it twice, so it wouldn't be 3%, it would be 30%. And for 0.75, move over twice to get 475%. The only other thing to do is fractions to percent. So if it's a fraction, you have to use division to write as a decimal. So 3/8, you divide it to get 0.375, but that isn't a percent yet, so we have to take it like we did before and write the decimal as a percent by moving it over twice, just like we did previously. So 0.375 is a decimal, move over twice to give you 37.5%. 5/8, we would first take it and write it as a decimal. So 5/8 will give us 0.625 when we divide our calculator. Remember, you always put the top number in your calculator first. Move it over twice to get 62.5%. 3/5 would first, when we divide, give us 0.6, and then we move it over twice to get 60%. 8 over 50 might be easier for you to do because 50 goes into 100 so easily. So times 50 by 100 to get 2. Times it by 2 to get 100, so times 8 by 2 to get 16, or if you divide it, so 50 times 2 is 100, so 8 times 2 is 16. You can either do it by dividing and moving it over, or if it goes nice and neat into 100, it might be easier for it to do it that way. If I went too fast during any of this, just please pause, rewind, and make sure the notes are filled in. We are going to check them. Have a good day.